Hello. Hi, thank you for joining me today. Today, I want to share with you some news. First, let's take a look. The first one will be Deloitte, Deloitte Digital and Snap Inc. report reveals the rich, untapped future of augmented reality for customers' experience. Okay, so this news is on prnewswire.com and it's written by Deloitte Digital. Yeah. Hello, Stephanie. Yeah. Hi. If you want to talk or say hi, you can press the button. It's in the middle and there is a raise hand button. Do you want to try it? And you can say hi and you can mute it. Hey, try it. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
And then I can just mute myself.
Yes, you can mute yourself and you can talk. And yeah, and then as for speakers, you can just join in and start talking. But as for audience, you need to raise your hand and I will bring to the virtual stage, which is bring you top to the layer. Yeah, so this is how it works. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, just make me your audience member because I'm just gonna be listening because I gotta get ready for
Yeah, sure.
Handyman.
I mean, it's just like 20 minutes. Yeah, you can mute yourself. It should be fine. Yeah. So I just talk to myself. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. All right, I'll keep myself on mute.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, Stephanie. Okay, so today's news, the first one is Deloitte Digital and Snap Inc. report revealed the rich and tapped future of augmented reality for customers' experience. Okay, so basically this news. Hello, Stefan. Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Sorry, my meeting ran over a little time.
Oh, thank you. No worries. Yeah, so today, let me recap. Today's news, the first one is on prnewswire.com, and the title is called Deloitte Digital and Snap Inc. report reveals the rich untapped future of augmented reality for customer experience. So yeah, it's provided by Deloitte Digital. And the subtitle is with 74% of global customers expecting augmented reality to be even more important in their lives in the next 5 years. AR has the power to define a brand's digital customer experience and mobile engagement. So in this news, it's pretty much saying that in the nearby future, AR will play really important part in our lives. So yeah, I would say as for the numbers, currently 67% of customers use AR primarily at home for functions including communications, 74%, gaming, 55%, media and entertainment, 52%, and shopping, 41%. So pretty much AR is pretty much growing right now, and especially with COVID, pandemic restriction reinforced AR as a way to bridge between the physical and digital. And now worldwide spend on AR VR is expected to accelerate from just right now is $12 billion this year, but it will be $72.5 billion in 24. So pretty much AR can definitely help us to, not only doing the retail communication, gaming, entertainment, and shopping, but also, bring us another layers of it. Any thoughts of this news or any feedback? Stefan?
It seems like a pretty lightweight article. I think there is definitely where people want AR, people want VR. but it's how do we deliver the right content in the right application. Those verticals that you were talking about are, pretty vanilla. So it's good though to have a market pulse, like kind of, those poll surveys or whatever, Pew Research survey, excuse me, where just getting the pulse of the situation. Do people like this? Do people want this? To validate. I mean, that's so important. It's such an important step in the product development and design and creation life cycle. So maybe that's the first step. But yeah, it's good to hear that people still want it. People still need it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Stephanie, do you want to share anything? Okay, it's fine. Okay, so that's
Oops, sorry, I'm a little bit new at this. No, I agree with Stefan. Sorry if I'm breaking up, by the way. I've been looking into the AR and VR space for a bit too, and a lot of it, it's kind of difficult to see like any extra areas that like maybe AR and VR can lead us into. So I definitely agree with what Stefan has to say about like finding a good market fit. I think that's super important. We don't just want to squeeze it into places that people don't really need it. So, yep.
Yeah, thank you for Stefan and Stephanie's share. And another news is pretty cool is the site called taskandpurpose.com, TASK and purpose, PURPOS. And the title is called "The Air Force is Using Virtual Reality." Hi, Yvonne, do you want to raise your hand so I can add you to the, give you speaker, bring you up to the stage? The raise hand button is at the bottom, the middle one. You see there's a paper, yes, that one, yes. Hey, hi, Yvonne. Yeah, cool. So, hi. Yeah, cool. So I just talk about another news, which is task and purpose. And the title is called "The Air Force is Using Virtual Reality to Teach Airmen How to Paint." This is a very interesting article because according to the article says that it seems like, the paint on the aircraft construction is really, really important. If you paint too much, it will add the weight for the aircraft, in military. But if you paint too less, it will increase the corrosion. So you have to paint just right. But if you train the airman using the real materials, it will increase the hazard to the environment, right? We don't want, people get a lot of, like environment get a lot of pollution or something. So they use VR to teach the airman how to paint properly on the aircraft. So it's very interesting. So if you can see my screen, pretty much there's a guy wearing military soldier clothes, and then he's wearing HTC Vive, but instead of a controller, he is using the gun spray paint. And then, so how does it work? Pretty much, if inside the simulation, the aircraft is green, but if you use the controller or the spray paint, you paint it in the right amount, it will show it in blue. But if you spray paint it too much, it will become red. So this can help the airman to paint in the right amount to the aircraft. and it can train and reduce the cost. And also, like training, your the airman in a safe environment. Yeah. So as for the news, do you guys have any thoughts, any comments, any feedback? Yeah. Anyone can mute. Mute.
Hey, I think this has some great application. Simulation does, like you spoke to, cost efficiency and environmental hazards and workplace hazards as well. And just so simply, you can break down all of those by a simulated training environment, right? And it's cool how it even goes so far as to understanding how much of the paint you're applying, I guess, in this particular scenario, right? How much is too much or how much is too little? Those type of nuances in the milestones to complete the task are important. And it sounds like, just even having tech to be able to measure that is pretty cool. So I wonder what other applications they have that they aren't telling us,
Any thoughts? Yeah, any thoughts? Stephanie, do you want to say something?
Oh, no, sorry. I pressed the mute button wrong.
Yvonne, do you want to share your feedback for the news? The airman using VR, the military using VR to train airmen to paint right on the aircraft.
Hi, thanks. I was just looking over the article about it. It's interesting. I had kind of poked around before and seen. I was surprised initially, kind of by how many training applications I had seen as a potential use of AR and VR. I think the economics of it are. I guess it's the economics and kind of also Stefan pointed to the level of risk for these industrial applications where there's it's hard to train people in a real life environment and the consequences of training them badly or not training them at all are very high. So it's kind of, I think I'm still wrapping my head around kind of the situations where this makes sense. I was noticing in the article that it said the spray gun training system costs $32,000, which seems very high. And I wonder if that how much bespoke hardware is involved, because it sounds there's some custom sensing. But I kind of wonder about the size of this market and also how this stuff scales. I remember also seeing some sort of more bite-sized examples of AR training in TeamViewer of all places. They have a help mode that they were sort of pushing where you can call someone and they can show you how to change a tire on your car or something more low stakes. But I don't know. I guess the conclusion is just I'm surprised by this, by the prevalence of this training stuff. But I feel it's very interesting, and it seems it's been going on for a while, but only in these situations where there's a lot of risk involved, or they're expensive equipment is already being used.
Actually, I'd like to add to that too, because I can't remember if I've met him in person yet, but they were in the works of building I think it was a VR training simulation for football players. So basically to reduce the injuries that I believe the quarterback, I'm not good with football, but basically the guy who throws the ball and just kind of testing, or helping him to be better at concentration when the other players are starting to rush him. And so by reducing the amount of physical practice and putting it into AR or VR, that definitely helps, with the lifespan of the player and the injuries to them. And I just thought that was pretty interesting. And I think they were adding like haptic sensors, if I'm correct with that vocabulary. But basically, the football player would be able to feel when he gets like tackled in VR. So I just thought that was interesting too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you for Stephanie, Yvonne, sharing the experience. And then, yeah, I think as for what Yvonne mentioned, that 30K for development is expensive. But as far as I know, that if you want to produce or develop a small or like marketing AR app, is at least 50K to 80K. Yeah, that's kind of a normal range if you want to hire a small agency to produce an AR app for your marketing. And a lot of big companies, they have much, much more budget than those. At least, I would say a few hundred K or a few $1 million for marketing. And as for 30K, I think it's a fine price, because as far as I know that if you want to build a platform or a software, it's much more than this number. Yeah. And then it can not only like this one, you can reuse it over and over again. And as for the real paint, you might need to purchase it again and again. And if like aircraft, it's pretty expensive, the material is expensive. Once you paint it round, then it might it might cost more to redo it. So this is kind of like a one-time price. And in the future, you won't need to have more extra paint or waste aircraft or a material. So personally, I think this price is pretty good. Yeah, so it's just personally. Yeah, maybe it's too expensive. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you so much, everyone. And then the last news is that it's news las.com. News at las.com. So, oh no, so it's called new newatatlas.com. Okay, so yeah, the title is called HTC Targets Professional with 2 new high-end Vive VR headset. It's written by David Nield. Okay, so we all know that HTC Vive is pretty amazing. And then right now they have Vive Pro 2. And Vive Pro 2, the resolution is 5K. They say it will reduce the motion sickness, but I think the most important thing for motion sickness is the latency. So I don't know 4K or 5K whether our eyes can tell or not, but I think it can definitely reduce a little bit, but I think 5G might help more. And as for HTC Vive Pro 2, you don't need the base and controller, but you need the plug into your PC, which I think, still you cannot run too far because you need to plug to your PC. Yeah, and they say everything will become much more high-end, including like the 3D special high-res audio to the headphone. Yeah, and then they have another one. And the Vive Pro 2 headset, it's around 750. And if you want to have the whole package, it's around the same price as before. It's around $1,400. And then if you want to, lower it down to more like Quest level, you can do HTC Vive Focus 3. They have Focus 3, and it's completely independent, no PC required. And the resolution is fine. It's like, it's like 2400, 2448 by 2448 pixel. And yeah, so it's kind of like a standard stuff. And then I think, yeah, it's kind of like they are kind of like competing with Quest. Anyone has any thoughts on the new headset, Vive Pro 2 and the Vive Focus 3? Yeah, any thoughts?
I still have my old Vive from when it first came out, and I have to say that, well, I have the lighthouses, so I guess that plays a big part in less of the motion sickness. So are you saying that the Pro, these two new ones they don't have the lighthouses? You just plug it into the computer, right, Dominic?
Yeah, it seems like that they reduce a lot of stuff, and then they sell, the headset is just 749 without the base and the base stations and without controllers. But if you want them, you might need to add up and it will become 1400 around. So I mean, they are trying, but yeah, I mean, still, yeah.
Okay, cool, interesting. Yeah, I think like maybe it's on the side of the developers too, because owning a Vive, I played a lot of games on there, and there's been like maybe one or two games where I got like super motion sickness, but for the most part, the other games I can definitely stay in for at least an hour.
Yeah, for sure. I'll just I'll second that motion sickness and how important it is. Latency, right? That frames per second. It's just critical. So if they can bump that up, Dominique, you mentioned like 4K versus 5K. If our eye can really see that difference that close up, but it's that hidden variable of refresh rate and latency that we can really reduce the unseen or that stuff that builds up that makes you sick. So I'm really excited for that, and it sounds like they're trying to compete in this middle ground, right? So Oculus came out, and then Facebook was like, all right, Oculus, you're mine. And then they kind of they messed up, I feel. And this is just my own personal opinion. I feel like they really screwed up when they forced people to have a Facebook account in order to have this Oculus Quest 2 or whatever model it was. And then they backpedaled and they said, okay, well, if you don't want it, you can buy this higher price point. But really, it's like you sell to the masses to live with the classes, right? I think is the old adage. And they had this really low price point, this awesome mobile Quest. I had one that I was developing on. I returned it because I wanted a more powerful system, and thank God Valve Index came along. That just is still, in my opinion, at the top of the game. But at least Quest got me into development. After seeing Vive's demo, I played around with. That was my first intro to VR, was with the Vive, and I was floored. I was amazed. I remember having that aha moment where my friend took me to outer space and he showed me Earth, and I thought, oh my God, I feel like I am not on Earth anymore. I literally feel it, and it blew my mind. And I got why people like it and why people want to do it. And it's a shame that at this point it's not as accessible. $750 is a lot of money still, but at least that price point is reducing. And they're being smart about it too, that modularity about it. You can buy on the lighthouses, or heck, who knows, maybe they'll come out with gloves or, some shoes or some stuff that you can kind of build your own kit versus, the Valve Index, which is, hey, minimum price point is $1,000, take it or leave it. It doesn't have that kind of build as you go system, but I could be wrong. They could have changed. So I think this is good news for Vive for HTC that they needed to have something new to market, because they did so well way back when, and I think they're in that sweet middle ground spot right now, in trying to cater to people who find the barrier to entry cost-wise as too high for them. And of course, it's going to be until tech gets, better and better to reduce its price to, like, a kid can sell a few lemonades and go buy a VR system or something. So I think we're decades away from that. Not only normalization psychologically, but also hardware-wise. And I think this is a step in the right direction for Vive. All right, I'll get off my soapbox now.
That was really good. I like that.
Well, thanks.
Any thoughts? Thank you for Stefan and Stephanie's share. I think, for me, my first VR experience was Gear VR, but I went to like the expo, CES expo back in 2017 or 18, I forgot. That was my first time trying Vive, and I was so amazed. Just like Stefan said that, I saw a big whale, right? And in the deep ocean, and I can feel that I was really in the ocean. So yeah, that really blows my mind. And I feel like, HTC Vive is so good. And especially because it's probably manufactured or it's a Taiwanese brand. So I feel, I don't know, it's just, maybe it's I don't know whether there is a data shows that or not, but it fits my face much better than Oculus. Yeah, I feel like my face is, I feel like when I wear HTC Vive, I don't feel, like the because when I wear Oculus Quest or like Oculus Rift, the headset will keep falling down. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think HTC Vive, I didn't have that problem back then. So I really think HTC Vive can definitely, because right now everyone is using Quest. Maybe it's because it's cheaper, but I know a lot of, game developer or hardcore gamers or, people who are really into VR, they have Vive. I have Quest. I have my Quest 1, and it's probably it's good on its price and it's pretty much functional, but I still think that Vive is probably the experience is much better. Of course, it's more expensive. Yeah. Any thoughts, Yvonne? Do you have any feedback?
Not as much to add as our other collaborators today. I think in terms of price, it does seem like this is definitely something that's aimed at like a more sort of commercial market, and it is like, I think in some ways it's good that HTC is sort of developing for that, because I feel like the economics of that maybe allow to deal with some of the challenges of using the actual device. We kind of talked a little bit about comfort, in these environments where people are able to pay more for a headset, and get a lot of value out of, for instance, like a VR training experience. I think it's kind of good in some ways that there is an option that's exploring, like, how can we make this experience, like lighter, more comfortable, more seamless. I think also it's like equally important to have like, somebody exploring how do we do something that's like really affordable for everyone. I think I'm super interested too to follow up on, I saw HTC, they're changing some of the input devices as well. So super curious to see, what the updates there are too.
Oh yeah, and I just thought about this too. I was like, it is a smart move to charge this much because kind of reminds me of like back when the first iPhones came out, where everything was a lot more expensive, and you know the developers use that as a way of like a kind of a crowdfunding type of thing, where they would use the profits from those and then just start iterating on more and more, more and more, styles, I guess. But yeah, I'd agree it's a smart choice to go that route and charge more.
Yeah, thank you for everyone's share. And then, yeah, so this is today's news. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you all on Monday. Thank you so much. Yeah, 9 o'clock. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you.
Stephanie, and it was so nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice to meet you too.
Take care.
Yeah.
Have a good day, guys.
Yeah, have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
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 Oh. Okay, thank you so much, and hope to see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.